Dave's speech subject really intrigued me. It's a story of a heartbroken man just out of a relationship who went out looking for not another woman, not a pint of beer, snakes. He went out looking for snakes. Let's hear it for Dave Gammon.
Wow, what an introduction. So, yeah, about 3 years ago, I wrote a book called Tidy Up On Your Way Out, which was a hilarious account of a single man's search for love over about a 7-year period. So, is there anyone single in the room tonight who can relate to some of the sort of things that happen in the world of online dating? So, and by and large, 7 years of dating was pretty hilarious, but there are also moments where it kind of really sucked, and that's the one I wanted to talk about tonight, really. So, the case in point was Sarah. So I met a girl called Sarah. We met online and we dated for about 5 months, and it was a bit tempestuous, but I kind of felt it was going well. And suddenly one day, out of the blue, I got a text and she just dumped me, completely canned me. And this has happened quite a lot when I was online dating for some bizarre reason that I don't understand. But she dumped me. She left me, and I was really upset. My state of mind. Anyone recognise this? When you get that surprise and it's just suddenly over, you just crash. And for weeks on end, my PA at work threatened to walk. I was that miserable. I was that depressed, and I just couldn't get any energy together. My family hate. So life was at a real low, and I just couldn't find my way out of it. Anyone recognise that? You just get this. You think everything. Life's normal, but I just feel really down. So anyway. One Friday night, I was indoors because that's what I do when I'm really down. I don't go out and try and shake myself out. I sit indoors and sulk. And it suddenly occurred to me, a thought just popped in my head. I thought, I've never seen an adder in the wild. Not the sort of thing you'd maybe expect me to come out with, but I'd never seen an adder in the wild. Now, I live out in the Hampshire countryside, and there's a place near me called Heckfield, which is a pretty good place to see wild adders, apparently. So I go online and I do some research. Instead of going onto the dating sites, I went somewhere different, and I found out about where to go find adders. So the next morning I wake up, 7 a.m, beautiful sunny day, just like the book said you needed. And I went out to a place called Heckfield, and I went out to and I found the border between woodland and heathland, which is the perfect place to see wild adders. And you look for a south-facing slope. And the south-facing slope, because they like to bask in the sun in the morning. So I had my iPhone and I'm walking around looking for a south-facing slope. And the very first slope I found, there was a male adder sat there basking in the sun. And it absolutely sucked the life out. The tears just fell out my face. I couldn't, number one, I'm not a big fan of snakes, so I have no idea why I was so... The tears just fell out my face. I sat down with it and I took some photographs of it. And I think in the end it must have sensed I was there, and it scuttered off into the bushes. And for the next 2-3 days, I was in a state of absolute euphoria, which I just couldn't get my head around. So, two things were patently true. I'd seen my first wild adder and I haven't seen another one since, so we'll put it down as a good tick. But secondly, I'd forgotten all about Sarah. He had completely disappeared from my consciousness. I wasn't even aware of sadness anymore, which struck me as a bit odd. But what I noticed after that is I started turning up differently in my whole life. Everything changed from that one moment. And the insight I had in that moment was that my thinking isn't a reliable indicator of how things are in the world. It kind of tends to sine wave its way around, up and down. And the idea that at any moment, whatever's going on in my mind can change like that was groundbreaking for me. And I've noticed since then, I just don't take what's going on in my head seriously anymore. And as a result of that, life's just become so much easier. I enjoy going out dating. I still go out on dates with girls, but I'm showing up differently because I'm no longer concerned about what they're thinking about me or what I'm thinking about them. I'm just going along and staying in the moment. And from time to time, I forget that. Time to time, I fall back into my thinking. So I have my little snake just to remind me when I forget. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.